طيب، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. حياكم الله وإياكم. أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا. Welcome to today's class. The 13th lecture of the Arabic conversational course. طيب. Today, inshallah ta'ala, we're starting Unit 15. We're nearing the end of this book and this level. المستوى الأول. We're nearing the end of it. Okay. طيب. Today's theme is about health. الصحة. And it's quite an interesting topic, to be honest. Very interesting. We're going to be talking about how to describe your visit to the doctor. Also, how to give someone advice regarding their health. How to describe pain that you're feeling. Asking about the result of something or the reason of something or someone's request. Identifying the main body parts. Talk about your health issues and ask someone about their health and make dua for someone to have good health. These are some of the prompts or some of the sub-themes that we'll be talking about, inshallah ta'ala. In terms of vocabulary, then in terms of core vocabulary, we have things related to medicine, generally speaking, diseases, and certain body parts and the likes, okay? And other things related to visiting the doctor and so on and so forth. In terms of supplementary vocab, we'll talk about the numbers, multiples of 10, which in Arabic are called alfaz al-uqud. And we've actually done them before, but we'll go into more detail. And we'll talk about the two numbers, 100 and 1,000. How do we use them? And what is their i'rab? In terms of themed vocabulary, then I advise you to go back and benefit, or to check and benefit from theme 1, human body, and theme 11, related to health and disease. Obviously, they're both available on Quizlet under the themed vocabulary list. Specifically, the human body one, we might use that today for our quizzes, if you like, quizzes live as well, because it's very interesting, as you can see, the way it deals with everything, okay? It's a bit different from your normal flashcards. So when it comes to learning it, this is how it looks like. It's going to zoom in into a specific place, and then you get to choose the answer, basically, okay? Flip it over. How do you flip it over? Sha'r. And then obviously you have to look carefully where it's pointing at her. That's udhun, and so on and so forth, okay? Like, it might look a bit different on your phone. At least I hope it does. It's not that clear over here. طيب, so you have this one, and we also have the other one called disease and health. So these are themed vocabulary. These are basically extra vocabulary that are related to this particular topic. That's why every single time when we do a unit, I tell you which themes are related to what we're doing this week as well. Okay? So we said theme 1 and theme 11, health and disease. So here you have different type of diseases like maghas, stomach ache, imsak, constipation, zukam, cold, jarrah, surgeon, so on and so forth. Okay? Right. So I advise you to check those out. In terms of grammar, today we're going to talk about something called passive voice. Al-mabni lil-majhul sounds a bit mysterious, doesn't it? And that's its English equivalent. In Arabic, it's called al-mabni lil-majhul, or sometimes they call it al-mabni lima lam yusamma fa'iluhu. We'll also talk about diptodes, another word-sounding word, which in Arabic stands for al-mamnu' min al-sarf. And we'll also talk more about Arabic numbers specifically numbers 11 and 12, multiples of 10, 100 and 1,000, inshallah. Right. Any questions before we start with the first dialogue? Right. The pre-unit assignments have been posted. Obviously, you should always practice your reading fluency before class. You can use the dialogue worksheets if you want, or you can just use the book if you have a physical copy, along with the audio. All these books, they come with CDs normally, or you can find the audio on the website, Arabic for All. They got a whole section with all the audios for the book that you can download. We've posted dialogue worksheets, dialogue flashcards, and vocabulary practice. Okay, so I assume that you've done that. If not, make sure you do it ASAP. Right, today's class. Let's start with the first dialogue, inshallah ta'ala. Here we go. الحج والعمرة.
الوحدة الرابعة عشرة. الحج والعمرة.
No. Wait a minute. We done this one last time. That's the wrong one. That's the one we meant to do. الصحة. I beat you guys before somebody managed to type it. Here we go. This is where we are.
الوحدة الخامسة عشرة. الصحة.
Hey, is everyone with me? You guys are normally sharp. Huh? Yalla, show me your hands. Right.
الكتاب الأول. الوحدة الخامسة عشرة. الصحة.
الدرس 27 بعد 100.
الحوار الأول. انظر واستمع.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
لماذا حضرت اليوم إلى المستشفى؟
حضرت لزيارة طبيب الأسنان.
بما تشعر؟
أشعر بألم شديد في أسناني. ولماذا حضرت أنت إلى المستشفى؟
حضرت لزيارة طبيب الأنف والأذن والحنجرة.
بما تشعر؟
أشعر بألم شديد في أذني.
هل لديك موعد مع الطبيب؟
نعم، موعد 10:10.
موعد 10:10 أيضا.
الساعة الآن 9:30. الباقي نصف ساعة.
والآن جاء دورك. انظر واستمع وأعلم.
Okay. Start with the dialogue, obviously, with the vocabulary first. Got to send you the WooClap link. It's there in the chat. Okay. So here we have the first set of vocabulary. We'll listen to it as well. Tell me which words you don't understand.
الوحدة الخامسة عشرة. الصحة.
الدرس 27 بعد 100.
المفردات: طبيب الأسنان، حنجرة، أذن، أنف. الباقي: طبيب الأنف والأذن والحنجرة، أسنان، موعد، شديد، ألم.
Okay. أحسنتم. So we have طبيب الأسنان, everybody knows, mashallah, dentist, أذن, أنف. These physical things are not hard to tell. Huh? If you done طبيب before, you know what أسنان means, then you know what طبيب الأسنان is. If you know what أسنان, or if you know what أنف, أذن, and حنجرة is, then you know what طبيب الأنف والأذن والحنجرة is. Okay, so this is obviously dentist. literally translates to doctor of the teeth. طبيب الأنف والأذن والحنجرة is basically, please don't ask me to pronounce that word. It's got this complicated word, but it's also called ENT, ear, nose, and throat doctor. So throat is حنجرة or larynx, okay? So basically that's your throat. Yes, حنجرة. Then we have أذن أنف الباقي remaining. So I know they've used here money to show you the remainder, but it could also be the remaining time, remaining food, anything that's remaining is called باقي. موعد means appointment, okay? شديد, severe. All of you seem to know that, alhamdulillah. Alam means pain. Obviously, I'm not going to lie to you, but the pictures sometimes in the book are not really useful. Because how do you tell the difference in these two? There's absolutely no difference between shadid and alam. طيب. ممتاز. With regards to the actual text, shall we listen to all three dialogues first and then explain the text and the grammar? Or shall we take it one at a time? Yes, حنجرة means throat, or it means larynx, throat, يعني. That's why Allah says in the Quran, وَبَلَغَتِ الْقُلُوبُ الْحَنَاجِرِ. Hearts reach the hanajir, the throats, as in out of fear, يعني. Okay, you know, sometimes we feel like there's something stuck in your throat, you know, that sense of fear and stress and pressure. In Arabic, they call it like بلغت القلوب الحناجر. The hearts have reached the throat. Okay, so what's the difference between حنجرة and حلق? Okay, again, حلق means throat as well. Okay, حنجرة is larynx. It's basically, it's like, I think it's like something like, I want to say the Adam's apple, but I think it's like the voice box and everything, that part of the throat, if you know what I mean, okay? Whereas the throat is larger. حلق is like all of it. Whereas حنجر is specifically here. Okay? نعم. لا يجاوز حناجرهم. نعم. Prophet ﷺ said about the Khawarij that they recite the Quran but it doesn't go beyond their throats or their hanajir. In other words, it doesn't go to their hearts. They don't understand it. Okay? All right. So here we have the first text. مسعود said السلام عليكم وعليكم السلام لماذا حضرت اليوم إلى المستشفى. This word حضرت, I think it's the third time we're seeing it. حضرت لزيارة طبيب الأسنان. This lam, what's it called? What do we call this lam over here? Who knows? What do we call this lam? Lam, just like many of the huruf in the Arabic language, they have different functions, different meanings. Lam could be lam al-tamlik, the lam of possession. Something belongs to someone. For example, I can say, Alhamdulillah, all praise belongs to Allah. Okay? Or Al-Kitabu, or Hadha Al-Kitabu lil-Muallim. This book belongs to the teacher. Okay? Or it's for the teacher. But this lam here is not lam al-tamlik. You're not saying, I came because I belong to the visitation of the dentist. That doesn't make sense. Yes, it's called lam al-ta'lil, ahsan. It's the lam for giving a reasoning. Okay? It's the same lam we find in limada. Li, for what? Or why? For which mada? For what? So limada literally means for what? Okay? So لزيارة طبيب الأسنان means I came for visiting the dentist, i.e. in order to visit the dentist, for the reason of visiting the dentist. هذا يسمى لام التعليل, the lam for giving a reason. Okay? واضح? How do you know the difference between لام التمليك and لام التعليل? It's very simple. You understand it by way of context. You understand it by way of the context. Okay? And normally lam al-ta'lil comes after verbs, or it's connected to some kind of verbal sentence. Because we do actions for reasons, okay? واضح? Whereas lam al-tamlik is normally comes after a nominal sentence, or normally connected to a noun. This noun belongs to this. This thing belongs to that, okay? It's also called lam al-sabab, نعم. لام السبب لام التعليل. The one that's normally used is تعليل لام التعليل. بما تشعر أشعر بألم شديد في أسناني. Why are we saying شديد? Why not بألم شديد, which is default? بألم شديد. Why did we say شديد? Because this is صفة. It's an adjective of ألم. نعم أحسنت. Also known as نعت. نعت صفة, it's the same thing. Okay? So it follows. It has to be agreement between the adjective and the noun. Okay? So بألم شديد في أسناني. ولماذا حضرت أنت إلى المستشفى؟ حضرت لزيارة طبيب الأنف والأذن والحنجرة. بما تشعر أشعر بألم شديد في أذني. هل لديك موعد مع الطبيب؟ نعم موعدي 10:10. So this one, number 10, 10th hour. I don't think we've done it. I mean, we don't really need to do this. This is actually, this is according to the rule that we have. This has nothing to do with what we're going to cover today regarding the number 11 and 12. We'll talk about that in a moment. الساعة 10, just like normal. This is صفة of this. All right? Or بدل. It could also be بدل actually. Okay? طيب. الساعة الآن 9:10. Why is this 9:10? What is the إعراب of 9:10? Who can tell us? What is 9:10? What's its إعراب? In other words, what's its grammatical declension or its function within the sentence? Anyone? مرفوع. Okay, why is it مرفوع? نعم, I can see it's مرفوع. Why is it مرفوع? For example, here we had الموعد 10:10. And here we have 9:10. Who can explain to us the difference between the two? Why is one mansoob and why is the other one marfu'? That's basically the question. Okay. I'm just going to write Y over here. If you want to write on clap. Y التاسعة. I'm using the wrong keyboard. Y التاسعة basically. الآن. الآن now. Yes, I know الآن is now. Question is, why التاسعة on one occasion, الساعة الآن 9:10. And we said earlier موعدي 10:10. Understand? What is the difference? Why does one have fatha and the other one have dhamma? معطوف? No, it's not معطوف. It's not معطوف. There is no عوامل affecting it. Okay, so if there's no عوامل affecting it, then what's his i'rab then? Generally speaking, I mean, every word is an عامل affecting it. Generally speaking, you know? It's just that some عوامل they're لفظية and some عوامل are معنوية. Some are explicit words are the عامل and some of them are معنوية. All right? They're implicit. But there has to be an عامل. Okay, if there's no عامل for التاسعة, which there is, but if there isn't, let's say there isn't, then what's the عامل for العاشرة with the فتحة. Okay. أحسنت. بارك الله فيك. Because it is ظرف الزمان, or like someone has put it here, now it is خبر and earlier it was ظرف. أحسنت. أحسنت. So let's go back to that again. And this one موعدي الساعة العاشرة أيضا. This one is ظرف. Okay. In other words, my appointment is at 10 o'clock. Okay. At 10 o'clock. At. See, at time. So in Arabic here, all of the ظرف الزمان and ظرف مكان, ظرف basically means that it's happening place in a container of time or place. All right. So if you want to know if something is ظرف or not, put في in front of it. And if it makes sense, then it's probably ظرف. So you could say موعدي في الساعة العاشرة. If you said that, would be perfectly fine. Okay. That's why it's ظرف. If you got rid of the في, it still means في. Still telling you when the appointment is going to take place, at what time, in what time, to be more precise when it comes to Arabic. Okay. في أي ساعة. Okay. So ظرف, generally speaking, it can answer the question متى. موعدك متى الساعة العاشرة. متى الموعد الساعة العاشرة. متى. Whereas ظرف مكان answers the question أين. أين. Okay. طيب. Let's compare that to this. الساعة الآن 9:30. The clock or the time right now is 9:30. So this, we're not talking about when an appointment or a verb is taking place. We're not talking about that. We're stating a fact. This is مبتدأ and خبر. الساعة 9:30. الآن is ظرف. This is ظرف. Okay. So الساعة 9:30. When? الآن, now. Now it is 9:30. Okay, so this is ظرف. واضح؟ واضح؟ الساعة 9:30 الآن. As a matter of fact, upon further, if you like, contemplation, this is not even khabar, to be honest. Now, just occurred to me. This is not even khabar. What is it? Who can tell me? It's not khabar. This is not khabar. بدل. نعم. Now, why is it not khabar? It's not or بدل يعني. I would say, look, how do you know the difference between بدل and na'at? It basically, if you can get rid of the word, one of the two words, and it still makes sense, then it's probably بدل. Okay? So if you can say التاسعة والنصف by itself, yes, then it's probably بدل. So التاسعة والنصف الآن, then that would be بدل, if that's okay. If that's not okay, then we have to use التاسعة والنصف. Okay? And then it would be an adjective. Either way, whichever one it is, that's not the important point. The important point is that this is not a khabar. Why is it not a khabar? Because this is ma'rifah. التاسعة. Because it's ma'rifah, we said, what's the barrier between mubtada and khabar? The barrier is what? The mubtada is ma'rifah and the khabar is nakira. The mubtada is definite, the khabar is indefinite. صح? So we have the mubtada, which is definite. We talk about something specific, and then we give some information, which is normally indefinite. If, however, the mubtada is definite and the khabar is definite, we need to use what? ضمير الفصل. We took that last time. We have to come with the word huwa or hiya or the likes. Okay? So here, الساعة التاسعة والنصف, if we said that without الآن, it wouldn't have been a complete sentence. So what completes the sentence here is الآن, which is the khabar. الآن is the khabar. Okay? الآن is the khabar over here. Now you might say, how can this be the khabar? When, if you like, it's not marfu'. Well, it's not marfu' because ظرف zaman and ظرف makan are always mansub, number one. And secondly, its real meaning is fil ana. In the moment. Now. Okay, so it's the asal of ظرف zaman and ظرف makan, its origin is that it's jar majroor. That it's the origin. Okay, so that's why here موعدي الساعة العاشرة is a complete sentence. My appointment is at 10 o'clock, even though الساعة العاشرة is what? Is ظرف زمان. This ظرف الزمان is the khabar. Why is it not marfu'? If you like, because the asal is that it is في الساعة العاشرة. Okay, so it could be said, right? The khabar, which actually is more technically correct, but it would be confusing, is that there's actually a noun here hidden, كائن. موعدي كائن في الساعة العاشرة. So that كائن, all right, is the actual khabar. Okay, it hasn't been mentioned because it's implicit, it's understood. Okay, الساعة التاسعة كائن الآن. All right, but that's getting too technical. It's too technical for this level. All right. For now, I just wanted you to understand why this is dhamma, why this is fatha. The most important thing is that you remember ظرف zaman, ظرف makan, always a fatha. This is ظرف zaman. Just remember that. Okay. In other words, when? 10 o'clock. This is not the case. That's not the case. This is just a statement. The time now is 9:30. This is a statement. Okay, you're not talking about something taking place at that time. You're just stating that now this is the time. All right, that's the difference. So this is the part of grammar that makes a difference to your understanding. That's why I mentioned it. All the other details that I gave, just ignore it. For those of you that understand it, alhamdulillah, if you don't understand it, you're not missing out on anything. Just remember that when you have a fatha on top of these kind of words, which relate to time or place, it means at that time. If they don't have a fatha, then it's probably going to be a statement like this one over here. Okay, so for example, an example that, you know, if I say, for example, أحب wow, I want to come up with a good example where this actually makes a difference. So you have, for example, الليل, which means night. Okay, night could be ظرف زمان ليلا, or it could be الليل. Okay, so Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran, for example, Allah says in the Quran, وجعلنا الليل لباسا. وجعلنا الليل لباسا. Okay, Allah has made the night a cover for us. Yes. Now, this is not ظرف. If it was ظرف, then the meaning of the verse would be, and Allah made in the night a cover for us. In the night. Okay, that's one meaning. The other meaning, وَجَعَلْنَا اللَّيْلَ لِبَاسًا. لا جَعَلْنَا اللَّيْلَ لِبَاسًا. Allah made the night itself a cover for us. Okay, so look at how the meaning changes depending on if it's ظرف زمان, which is مفعول فيه, or if it's مفعول به of جعلنا. Okay, واضح? Right. Two different meanings basically. So we made the night itself a cover, or we made in the night a cover. We created in the night a cover. Right. Let's go to the next dialogue.
الوحدة الخامسة عشرة. الصحة.
الدرس 28 بعد 100.
الحوار الثاني. انظر واستمع.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
لماذا تغيبت عن الدراسة؟
أصبت بزكام شديد.
بما شعرت؟
شعرت بصداع شديد في الليل وارتفعت درجة حرارتي.
هل قابلت الطبيب؟
نعم، ذهبت إلى المستشفى بالإسعاف وقابلت الطبيب.
وبما نصحك الطبيب؟
نصحني بالراحة وتناول الدواء، وهذا هو التقرير الطبي.
شكرا لك. وبما تشعر الآن؟
الحمد لله، أنا بخير.
والآن جاء دورك. انظر واستمع وأعد.
طيب ممتاز. Next is the actual the nouns. Sorry, the vocabulary. Back on وكلابة. Bismillah. 1 second. There we go. Which words don't you understand? I'll play the sound as well.
الوحدة الخامسة عشرة. الصحة.
الدرس الثامن.
Oh, sorry.
ال...
Hello. What's wrong with this? Okay, so I'm kind of stuck here. All right, let's try this again.
الوحدة الخامسة عشرة. الصحة.
الدرس الثامن والعشرون بعد 100.
المفردات: زكام، صداع، إسعاف، يقابل، تناول، يصاب، تقرير طبي، ينصح، راحة، دواء، ارتفع، تغيب.
Sent. So basically every single word seems to be new. No problem. Zukam means a cold or a flu. All right. That means zukam. Suda is headache or migraine. They use the same picture again for alam. Is'af, ambulance. Yuqabil means to meet someone. Qabala yuqabilu. Muqabalatan. Tanawala means to take something. Okay, to take something. So taking the medicine, nawaltu. Or تناول الدواء. تناول الدواء, to take medicine. In the book it says tanawul, which is the verbal now. Yani taking medicine, all right? From the verb tanawala yatanawalu. Yusab means to, well, Yusab's got so many different meanings, okay? But I think the general meaning is to be afflicted. To be afflicted, all right? So here, yusabu also it means to be injured, which is a form of affliction, right? So that's what it basically means. Asaba yusabu, okay? So because here it says yusabu and showing you a picture of someone who's injured. So it means to injure, to get injured, but it also means to be afflicted with something. Specifically when you use a ba with it. If you say, for example, usibtu, yes, then after you say ba with, and you mention the thing. So usibtu bi zukam, as he mentions in the dialogue. Or usibtu bi kada wa kada. Okay? That means to be afflicted by something, all right? But if you don't use the ba, you just say fulanun musab, like that, without using the ba, then that normally means that he got injured. He got injured. If you say musab like that, okay? Otherwise, if you want to be more specific, you say musabun bikada, musabun bikada, okay? تقرير طبي is a medical report. نعم. Someone mentions لا يصدعون عنها ولا ينزفون. Does that refer to headache? Yes. Yes. It refers to suda'. Okay. Basically, the verse in Surah Al-Waqi'ah, لا يصدعون عنها ولا ينزفون, it's talking about the alcohol or the khamar, if you like, the khamar that the people of Jannah have in Jannah. It doesn't cause you to have a headache. Basically, no hangovers. All right, from the khamar in Jannah, it doesn't cause you headache or migraines, or it doesn't have any adverse effect on your body. Right? So لا يصدعون عنها, Allah said. It won't give you headache. It won't give you صداع. Okay, صدع يصدع فهو مصدع. He's one with a headache. طيب. So صداع is basically pain in the head, a pain like headache or whatever. ينصح means to give advice. نصح ينصح نصيحة. All of you know the word نصيحة. راحة means to relax. دواء medicine. ارتفع. ما من دواء إلا وله دواء. ما من داء إلا وله دواء. That's one of the funny things about Arabic. Sometimes you have two opposite words. Not even sometimes, many times. You'll find two opposite words that are very close in the way they sound. So dawa is the medicine. Da is the disease. That's why Ibn al-Qayyim has got a book called Ad-Da'u wad-Dawa. Okay, so the disease and the cure. Ad-Da' wad-Dawa. Okay? Same thing with, for example, Shafa and Ashfa. Shafa and Ashfa. Shafak Allah means may Allah cure you. Ashfaq Allah means may Allah make you sick. Now, so you have to be careful. There are a lot of words in Arabic. By just adding one letter, it takes the opposite meaning. Just the same thing as al-ifrat wa tafrit. Okay? Farrata, afrata. Two different things. Farrata means to fall short. Afrata means to go beyond bounds. Okay? Irtafa'a means to go up, to become elevated, So ارتفعت درجة الحرارة, temperature got elevated. تغيبت is from غائب, to be absent. Okay? Or غيب, knowledge of the unseen, غيب, علم الغيب. All of them have similar meaning. So تغيبت was I was absent. So the teacher is asking the student, لماذا تغيبت عن الدرس? Why were you absent from the class? واضح? Right. Let's go on to the explanation of the text. So, السلام عليكم وعليكم السلام. لماذا تغيبت عن الدراسة؟ الدراسة. درس يدرس دراسة. Verbal noun. تغيبت why were you absent. أصبت بزكام شديد. All right. Question. This sentence over here. Where is the fa'il for this sentence? If you know it because you've learned this before, please don't answer yet. Give everyone else the chance. So here in this sentence, where is the fa'il, or what we would call the subject? Okay? Or what is it? What's the fa'il? What's the fi'l madi? The fi'l madi of isaba is usiba, which is what we're going to talk about now, inshallah. Okay, so someone said that the fa'il, the subject, is the ta at the end. Tu is fa'il. All right. Can you translate that for me then? Jazakallah khair for putting that down. Can you translate to what it means then? If ta or the tu is the fa'il, what would that translate to? Okay, so obviously asaba means to be afflicted. Zukam is flu. Shadid means severe. Okay, someone said, I am afflicted with a severe cold. Well, that doesn't make sense. That's not a verbal sentence, is it? That's a nominal sentence. That's fi'l ismiya, a jumla ismiya. You're basically saying, أنا مصاب بزكام شديد. That's not a verbal sentence. If you're going to give me the meaning, you have to give me a verbal sentence. Someone said, I suffered from a cold. No, that wouldn't be the right answer. we're not talking about the suffering, we're talking about you being afflicted by it. You being afflicted by it. That's what it means. And asaba doesn't mean to suffer. It means to be afflicted. The severe cold caught me. All right. If you're saying the severe cold caught me and you have the verb to catch, let's say that means usiba or asaba, then يعني, who did the verb? That's basically my question. Who did the verb? Someone said the fa'il is hidden. Who did the verb? If the fa'il is hidden, then why did some of you say tu is the fa'il? Mustatir. No, it's not called mustatir. How can it be mustatir when we have two over here? Mustatir is when you don't have the actual damir or rafa. That's mustatir. Something like asaba. There's nothing. That's mustatir. Is it in the verb taqdiruhu huwa? No. No. This is basically, those of you that know the answer, I told you not to answer. You can feel free to answer now, inshallah. I'm going to give a couple of seconds now for those brothers who've probably done this before. I assume some of you might know it. Would it be the hamza with dhamma? No. Look, this should be the fa'il, but it's not. And we'll talk about why. نعم أحسنت فعل مجهول. This is now what we talked about earlier called المبني للمجهول. المبني للمجهول. This is what we call the passive voice. The passive voice. In other words, this is when the fa'il has not been mentioned. The fa'il has not been mentioned. All right, for whatever reason it may be. There are many reasons why something could be mabni lil majhul. Okay, in this particular occasion, it is out of respect for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yes, and not ascribing evil to him. Okay, or what we consider to be evil, but of course it's not evil, but as to not complain about it. Now, the reality is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala afflicted you with zukam. Okay? So it was meant to be asabani bizukamin shadid. Asabani Allahu bizukamin shadid. Allah has afflicted me with a severe cold. Right? But you haven't mentioned the fa'il. To give you another example, let's say something that belongs to you got stolen, your phone got stolen, but you don't know who stole it. All right? So what are you going to say? The thief stole my phone? You can say that. All right? You can say that. But what will be more eloquent is to say, my phone got stolen. When you say my phone got stolen, there is no subject there. There is no fa'il. That's called the passive voice. The passive voice is when the fa'il has not been mentioned. The verb, the person who did the verb has not been mentioned. It has been withheld for certain reasons. It could be withheld because of ignorance. You don't know who did it. It could be because of respect. Or it could even be because of not giving that person any sort of status. Right? Okay? Not giving them any sort of status. Sometimes out of tahqir and out of just talking down on someone, you don't even mention the verb. Okay. Right. So what do we have then? What do we have? What do we have? The meaning would be I got afflicted. I got afflicted with a severe cold. Now, we all know that the fa'il is a pillar from the pillars of the sentence. All right. So we can't just not mention the fa'il and just keep on moving as if nothing happened. Okay? So if I were to say, for example, I see Khalid crying, a famous example that all people in grammar always use. Khalid hit Amr, or someone getting hit. And I told you many times why they use that example, because hitting is something very physical, whereby you can really feel it's very tangible, the verb affecting someone, that's why they use that example. So let's say Khalid is crying, and then the teacher walks into the room and he says, why is Khalid crying? Okay. Now he got hit by Amr. Amr is my best friend, but I don't want to get him in trouble. But I have to answer the question. Neither do I want to lie and accuse someone else. So I say, Khalid got hit. In Arabic, that would be ضرب خالد. ضرب خالد. Now, when I say ضرب, that is what we call the مبني للمجهول. ضرب is when you're about to mention the fa'il. If you don't know the fa'il, you change ضرب to ضرب. So someone just asked me about, Ustad, what's the fi'l ماضي for أصيب or أصبت بزكام? Well, the fi'l ماضي is أصاب, yes, which means to afflict someone. Okay? وما أصابكم من مصيبة, Allah says, and whatever Allah afflicts you with from afflictions, okay? فبما كسبت أيديكم is because what your hands have put forth. أصاب, that is to afflict. But أصبت بزكام comes from أصيب, to be afflicted, from the مبني للمجهول. All right? Where the fa'il hasn't been mentioned, okay? Or the person who did the verb hasn't been mentioned. So here, I don't want to get Khalid in trouble, so I say ضرب. 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 He got hit. But there's a problem, like we said, which is we still need to have a fa'il or something that takes the place of a fa'il. Otherwise, our sentence is going to be incomplete. واضح? So what do we do? The مفعول به, the object, takes the place of the fa'il. And it takes the same declension of the same i'rab. So, ضرب محمد, or Amr was Amr, wasn't Muhammad. ضرب عمرو خالدا. That's how it was initially. That's why I would have said if me and Amr weren't on good terms. I would say, Ustad says, ماذا حصل؟ لماذا يبكي خالد؟ ضرب عمرو خالدا. Amr's in trouble. All right? I don't want to get Amr in trouble. Okay? We're good friends. ضرب خالد. ضرب خالد. So instead of ضرب عمرو خالدا with fatha, it became ضرب خالد. Now why is Khalidun have dhamma? Because it took the place of the fa'il. Because the fa'il is missing. We can't mention the fa'il for whatever reason. So we give the dhamma to the maf'ulun bihi. It's called in Arabic naib fa'il. Substitute for the fa'il. واضح? This subject, it is a little bit complicated initially to get the hang of it. But not only is it very rewarding, but it's also very often used in the Quran. You have to know how to use this sentence structure. Probably the people in the book, they probably didn't add that sentence over there for me to cover it, but you know me, I don't like to anything to go to waste. So I like to break down every sentence by sentence. So, أصبت بزكام. أصبت بزكام. The two here is what we call naib fa'il. What we call naib fa'il. You did not afflict yourself with severe cold. Okay? You did not afflict yourself. All right? But instead, you got afflicted. Right? So the two here, which would normally be the fa'il, now we call it naib fa'il. It takes the place of the fa'il. All right? So the two is actually the person who's afflicted. I am. Okay? I'm the one that's afflicted. Not that I did the affliction, but it's naib fa'il. That's why, because it's naib fa'il, and naib fa'il is marfu'. That's why it's usibtu and not asabani. It's not the ya. The ya is normally what we use when it's maf'ulun bihi, like darabani, ni. No, we don't have that now. We actually have the marfu' equivalent of it, which is tu, usibtu. And then it will be in the state of rafa' rather than nasb if it was maf'ulun bihi. Is this correct? Yes. The naib fa'il is always in the state of rafa'. As a matter of fact, my dear brothers and sisters, let me make life easy for you. Right? State of rafa' is only 4 things. واضح? State of rafa' marfu' is only 4 things. مبتدا, خبر, فاعل, naib fa'il. That's it. I have just delivered to you a third of Arabic grammar, or let's say a fourth actually, because mansub is 4. Or sorry, the i'rab, the states of i'rab are 4. مرفوع منصوب مجرور مجزوم صح؟ Listen carefully. مرفوع is only 4 things فقط. You won't come across another مرفوع. It's either مبتدا, it's either خبر, فاعل, or نائب فاعل. واضح؟ That's it. The equation is complete. Okay? Now, مجرور is only 2 things. Really, let me give you half of نحو. Let me give you half of Arabic grammar, half of Arabic i'rab to be more precise with declension. Let me give it to you in 3 minutes. مرفوع is 4. مبتدا خبر فاعل نائب فاعل. مجرور is 2. Okay? مجرور is only 2. Something preceded by حرف الجر or مضاف إليه. خلاص. That's it. You will never come across a مجرور other than that. It's a noun preceded by حرف الجر or it is مضاف إليه. بس انتهينا. You will never come across مرفوع except that it is مبتدا خبر فاعل or نائب فاعل. What's left? What's left is مجزوم. مجزوم is kind of limited as well, albeit a little bit technical to do with verbs. We'll talk about that another time. But the biggest headache is mansoob. Mansoob is the headache. It's over 10 different categories. Okay? Mansoob is the headache. But these other 3, piece of cake. We're done with half of Arabic grammar. Half of i'rab, to be honest. Not Arabic grammar, half of i'rab. مرفوع, we said is مبتدا خبر فاعل or نائب فاعل. مجرور is اسم مجرور because of حرف الجر coming in front of it, or it's مضاف إليه. خلاص. بارك الله فيكم. Ustad, can you repeat the other name for المبني للمجهول you said in the beginning? المبني للمجهول is also called المبني لما لم يسمى فاعله. Okay? لما لم يسمى فاعله. Now what's the difference between المبني للمجهول and المبني لما لم يسمى فاعله? Because it's just very technical. مبني للمجهول means it is in a state, or is مبني for the state, or it's built on the circumstance of the fa'il being unknown. But then some of the grammar scholars say, no, that's not true. It doesn't have to be that the fa'il is unknown. It could be that the fa'il is known, but he's just not mentioned. Such as usib to be zukam, and we know that no one else afflicted you with zukam other than Allah. Sah? So they say, we don't say mabni lil majhul. It's not that we don't know the fa'il. It's just the fa'il hasn't been mentioned. So they said, it's mabni lima lam, for that lam yusamma fa'iluhu, whose fa'il hasn't been mentioned. So it's a state whereby the verb takes on a state whereby it is in a structure suitable for the situation where the fa'il has not been mentioned. Okay, whereas the other one, it's called al-mabni lil-ma'lum. Al-mabni lil-ma'lum is in a state whereby you know the fa'il has been mentioned. Or al-mabni lima, or al-mabni lima summa fa'iluhu, I think that's what they call it. Everything, they don't even have that. No, it's just mabni lil-ma'lum. Mabni lil-ma'lum. You don't have the opposite of lima lam yusamma. You don't have that. You have mabni lil-ma'lum. That's it. I've never come across al-mabni lima summi fa'ilu. I never heard of that. So al-mabni lil-ma'lum. Okay? Mabni lil-ma'lum, mabni lil-majhul. But the mabni lil-majhul, some scholars said, that's not precise. Let's call it mabni lima lam yusamma fa'iluhu. واضح؟ طيب. This was a little bit too technical in my book, even in my book, right? But I thought I'll just share that with you, not because I expect you to get it or remember it or master it, but just for the sake of, making you look forward to what's about to come. Yes. And sometimes when it comes to Arabic grammar concepts, I found that the sooner you're exposed to it, the better. Why? Because now what's going to happen is every time you see it, you're going to notice it. And multiply that by a month, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, is going to be something that you've already very familiar with, that you've seen a lot. When it actually comes time to practice it, it's going to be much easier, inshallah. Right. أصبت بزكام شديد. بما شعرت؟ شعرت بصداع شديد في الليل. Again, we can make this ظرف الزمان. What would it be for ظرف الزمان? And it would have been the same. It would have been the same meaning. If he said شعرت بصداع شديد ليلا, it would be the same meaning. Okay, في الليل and ليلا mean the same thing. وارتفعت درجة حرارتي. هل قابلت الطبيب؟ نعم، ذهبت إلى المستشفى بالإسعاف وقابلت الطبيب. وبما نصحك الطبيب؟ وبما نصحك الطبيب؟ نصحني. نصحني. You know this noon over here? I haven't covered it. I wasn't going to cover it, but why do you have a noon over here? We'll cover it another time, inshallah. I'll make it ready for now, but we'll cover it next week, no problem. I mean, next lesson. نصحني. What happened there? Remind me next lesson, inshallah. وتناول الدواء. Advise me with relaxation and taking the medicine. وهذا هو التقرير الطبي. Look at that again. What do we have here? ضمير الفصل. وهذا التقرير الطبي is معرفة. Okay? Instead of saying وهذا التقرير الطبي, which would possibly be an incomplete sentence, or could be understood as an incomplete sentence, it could be understood as this medical report, as opposed to this is the medical report. We come with the ضمير الفصل. So that it's a barrier between the مبتدا and the خبر, and you know where the خبر starts. هذا هو التقرير الطبي, and this is the medical report. Okay? شكرا لك. وبما تشعر الآن؟ الحمد لله أنا بخير. نون الوقاية. أحسنت. Yes, it's called نون الوقاية. We'll talk about that next time. أحسنت. Now let's go to the third. Oh my, subhanallah. Didn't even do the third text yet. That is crazy. يلا, let's do it. بسم الله.
الوحدة الخامسة عشرة. الصحة.
الدرس 29 بعد 100.
الحوار الثالث. انظر واستمع.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
هل قابلت الطبيب؟
نعم، وفحص الصدر والقلب والكلية وقاس الضغط.
وما النتيجة؟
القلب سليم والحمد لله. هناك
I'm not sharing the screen. Sorry about that. So I have two files open.
ارتفاع قليل.
Sorry, let's start over again.
الوحدة الخامسة عشرة.
Is it sharing now?
الصحة.
الدرس 29 بعد 100.
الحوار الثالث. انظر واستمع.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
هل قابلت الطبيب؟
نعم، وفحص الصدر والقلب والكلية وقاس الضغط.
وما النتيجة؟
القلب سليم والحمد لله. هناك ارتفاع قليل في الضغط والسكري.
ما سبب ذلك؟
زيادة الوزن.
وماذا طلب منك الطبيب؟
طلب مني ترك السكريات.
وهل طلب منك شيئا آخر؟
نعم، ممارسة الرياضة وتناول الفواكه والخضروات.
شفاك الله.
آمين. شكرا لك.
والآن جاء دورك.
Okay. And for the words.
الوحدة الخامسة عشرة. الصحة.
الدرس 29 بعد 100.
المفردات. سليم.
يفحص. ضغط. نتيجة. صدر. كلية. زيادة الوزن. سكريات. خضروات. قلب. فواكه. يقيس الضغط.
Okay. طيب. سليم is the opposite of مريض. Okay. Means to be healthy. Okay. Or to be free from any deficiency or any disease or the likes. Salima means to be safe or free from something. Okay. سليمة فهو سليم. Okay. يفحص. فحص يفحص means to literally means to examine. To examine. Okay. So here we're talking about the doctor examining the patient or examining his blood pressure or the likes. Means to examine. Okay. ضغط means pressure. ضغط means pressure. Blood pressure or any other pressure. Okay. Work pressure as well. School pressure. Arabic conversational course pressure. Homework assignment pressure. نعم. All of that means ضغط. Okay. Then we have نتيجة, results. صدر, chest. كلية, kidney. Now كلية, كلية. What would be the difference? The difference would be the شدة. So keep that in mind. Okay. كلية and كلية, as in كلية الطب, the difference would be the شدة. كلية has got two shaddas, one on the lam, one on the ya, whereas كلية has got no shaddas at all. زيادة الوزن, كلية, some people call it كلية, all the same. زيادة الوزن means obesity, or زيادة literally means increase, or a lot of الوزن. وزن means weight. سكريات. سكريات is the plural of سكري. سكري, which means sugars. سكر means sugar. سكريات, sugars or carbohydrates. Okay. سكريات. خضروات, vegetables. قلب, heart. فواكه, fruits. يقيس الضغط. These are two words. يقيس, which means to measure, and الضغط, which you already done. That's why in the Quizlet I got rid of ضغط. I just made it يقيس. Okay, because you already learned ضغط over here. Okay, because يقيس doesn't necessarily need to be just measuring blood pressure. You could do قياس of anything, to measure of anything. Okay, يقيس الضغط or يقيس مستوى الطالب. All right, to measure the student's level. يقيس مستوى الطالب. All right. زيادة الوزن, نعم, overweight, obese. نعم. But literally speaking, زيادة means extra or too much, or زيادة. And وزن means weight. Okay, overweight. طيب. Let's explain the final dialogue sentences. I think these grammar skills, we're going to have to explain them in more detail. I mean, we already explained them anyway. We talked about passive voice. We'll talk about ممنوع من الصرف in a moment. Arabic numbers, we'll explain that next week, inshallah. So here we have, because we want to have some time for Quizlet exercise as well, and we want to go to the workshop. طيب. السلام عليكم. وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. الزوجة said خيرا. What do you mean by خيرا over here? I mean, what would be the إعراب for خيرا? Why is it خيرا anyway? Two fathas. خيرا, what does that mean here? Okay, so yeah, I know, but why is it خيرا, not خير? I mean, since it's not خير, it means it's not the mubtada and it's not the khabar. So what is it then? Why is it خيرا? ظرف. لا. في الخير? No. She's not saying in خير. لا. It doesn't mean ظرف. Hidden verb. أحسنت. Hidden verb. أحسنت. نعم. لا, it's not مفعول مطلق. All right, it's not. For example, I don't even think there's a verb for خير. Okay. So we have المفعول, a hidden verb basically. So this is the beauty about Arabic, which is anything that is understood, you can omit it, and then the person is free to fill in the blanks. Same thing with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. When you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, the verb is omitted. Okay? You're saying in the name of Allah, Bismillah. Okay, in the name of Allah, what? Okay, the verb has been omitted. Why has it been omitted? So that you can say Bismillah regardless what you're doing. Whatever verb or thing you're intending to do will take that place. So if before you eat, you say Bismillah, you're saying Bismillah akul. If before you write, you say Bismillah, you're basically saying Bismillah aktub. If before you start the dars, you say Bismillah, it means Bismillah udarris. And so on and so forth. Okay? So same thing here. Khayran, there's a hidden verb there. It could be arju khayran. Okay? Arju khayran. Okay? I hope that there's something good. Give me good news basically. Okay? Same thing with shukra. Shukra was مفعول مطلق. أشكرك شكرا. But خيرا is not مفعول مطلق. طيب. هل قابلت الطبيب؟ يعني أرجو خيرا. Okay, I expect good. هل قابلت الطبيب؟ Did you meet الطبيب؟ نعم. وفحص الصدر والقلب والكلية وقاس الضغط. Okay, وما النتيجة? What was the result? الحمد لله القلب سليم. والحمد لله. هناك ارتفاع قليل في الضغط والسكر. There is a small increase, ارتفاع, in the blood pressure and the sugar. What's meant by sugar? I.e. in the blood sugar levels, basically. Seems like the person is diabetic and he's saying there's an increase in the pressure, which is understood blood pressure. He didn't say ارتفاع قليل في ضغط الدم. He could have said that. But when you say الضغط, specifically in this sort of circumstance where you're talking about health, if you go to a doctor and he says أقيس ضغطك or خليني أقيس الضغط, you know what he's talking about. He's not talking about the pressure you're having because of the assignments Ustad Muhammad Abdullah gave you. He's talking about your blood pressure. صح? Same thing here. When he says ارتفاع قليل في الضغط والسكر, there's a small increase in the sugar, i.e. blood sugar levels, basically. Okay? ما سبب ذلك? What's the reason for that? سبب means reason. زيادة الوزن. Again, what's the Arab for this? Dear brothers and sisters, like the Arabs said, لولا التقدير لفهم النحو الحمير. لولا التقدير لفهم النحو الحمير. So what's this? What does this mean? Now, إضافة. نعم, زيادة الوزن is إضافة. But why زيادة الوزن? Secondly, how is this a complete sentence? How is, if you walk up to someone and you say to him, زيادة الوزن, oh, he's going to say to you, what? Are you talking to me? You know? What does it mean, زيادة الوزن يعني? Is this a complete sentence? زيادة الوزن like that is not a complete sentence. مضاف مضاف إليه. Is it مبتدا? Is it خبر? If it's مبتدا, where is the خبر? If it's خبر, where is the مبتدا? فهمت علي? Don't say to me مضاف مضاف إليه. I know that. نعم. لولا, I didn't translate it yet, huh? لولا التقدير لفهم النحو الحمير. If it wasn't for تقدير or things are implicit, they are not stated explicitly that you have to figure out, then even donkeys would understand Arabic grammar. Okay, so that's the statement. So here someone says khabar is hidden. يعني زيادة الوزن. So what's the khabar then? What's it going to be? نعت منعوت. No, it's not نعت منعوت. نعت منعوت, even it was نعت منعوت, and this is the نعت المنعوت, زيادة الوزن, and the نعت منعوت is hidden, it will still not be a complete sentence. The two pillars of a sentence are مبتدا and khabar. Here we have a noun, right? It could be two things. It could be some kind of verb is hidden, and this would be the fa'il, or it could be it's either mubtada and the khabar is hidden, all right? Or it could be the khabar and the mubtada is hidden. Okay, mubtada is hidden. So what is the mubtada then? Mubtada and mudaf and khabar with mudaf ilayh. No. You can't have the. La. This can't be the mubtada and that be the khabar. That's not possible. Mudaf ilayh is considered one word. Grammatically speaking, mudaf ilayh is one word. One entity is one thing. Kitab al-Muallim is one thing. Okay? Kitabullah, Allah's book is one thing. Rasulullah is one thing. The Messenger of Allah, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is one thing, one entity. Okay? So you can't say Rasulullah is mubtada and khabar. La. Okay, both hidden, majhul, sabab. No. So this is actually, it's fairly simple. It's a very simple. This basically follows on from the question. Most of the time when you have a question and answer, that's what happens. Someone says to you, for example, كيف حالك? You say بخير. بخير is not a full sentence. But it basically means حالي بخير. Someone says to you, ما اسمك? You say Muhammad. Muhammad is not a full sentence. But it basically means اسمي Muhammad. So ما سبب ذلك؟ سبب ذلك زيادة الوزن. واضح؟ سبب ذلك زيادة الوزن. Now, سبب ذلك itself is مضاف إليه. Okay? زيادة الوزن is مضاف إليه. The reason for that is an increase in weight or being overweight. واضح? So سبب ذلك زيادة الوزن. سبب ذلك would be مبتدأ. زيادة الوزن would be خبر. Here, look at how you have a مبتدأ and خبر, but it consists of 4 words. If you now don't know what mubtada and khabar is, you don't know what mudaf ilayh is, you don't know how to recognize the barrier between the mubtada and the khabar, you are going to be so confused. سبب ذلك زيادة الوزن. Okay, 1 minute. Where's the mubtada? Where's the khabar? Is سبب ذلك the mubtada and khabar? The reason is that? No. The reason for that, not is that. Don't use is زيادة الوزن. Okay? طيب وماذا طلب منك الطبيب؟ طلب مني ترك السكريات. وهل طلب منك شيئا آخر؟ نعم، ممارسة الرياضة. Same thing again. Why is this ممارسة الرياضة؟ ليه؟ Sorry, I'm making you like work today, huh? Grammatically, it's called al-hadth. Okay, omitting something. That's why it's called. It's not grammatic, actually. This has nothing to do with grammar. This has to do with balagha. Okay, which is another science of Arabic, which is when you change the order of things, when you omit things, you know, this is not grammar. This is balagha. Okay, and in balagha, this is called al-hadth, which is basically omitting something. Why do we do hadth? For which reasons? What's the benefit of hadith? You learn that in a science called al-balagha. Hadth al-mubtada. So what is the mubtada then? Tell me what it is. Okay, tell me what it is. This kind of exercise, my dear brothers and sisters, really allows you to understand the language. You know, even if I told you to translate this, you'd probably translate it fine. But I just want you to be a bit more conscious about your comprehension, because when you're conscious about your comprehension and you develop the skill to break things down, then the benefit is that whenever you get stuck, you're able to troubleshoot and find out where things went wrong. نعم. Omitted verb طلب. أحسنت. How do we know it's an omitted verb? Because this is مفعول به. It's got fatha. And this one is ajib, isn't it? This one's ajib. Why? Because the omitted verb is like two sentences before that. Okay? طلب مني ترك السكريات. وهل طلب منك شيئا آخر? Look. He doesn't want to be repetitive. He's already said طلب مني before. ماذا طلب منك الطبيب؟ طلب مني ترك السكريات. وهل طلب منك شيئا آخر؟ نعم. طلب مني ممارسة الرياضة. He could have said that. But that's repetitive. And like I said to you, the Arabic language is built on this beauty of not mentioning redundant things that make sense. Right? More so than other languages. All right? So for that reason, he didn't say طلب مني again. But that's what it means. طلب مني ممارسة الرياضة. That's what it means. He requested from me that I do more exercise. So if I say to you, for example, right now, as a question, and maybe it got asked in the dialogue worksheet, I'm not sure, which is ماذا طلب الطبيب من الزوج? Probably got asked in dialogue worksheet. ماذا طلب الطبيب من الزوج? Then the answer would be طلب منه ترك السكريات وممارسة الرياضة وتناول الفواكه والخضروات. That would be the correct answer, because طلب منه applies to all of these things. Okay, so that's why here ممارسة الرياضة is got فتحة. Why? Because it follows on from طلب مني. If you said here ممارسة الرياضة, it wouldn't make sense. إيش ممارسة الرياضة? Why does he have ضمة? Where is the مبتدأ? What's he trying to say? Okay, it wouldn't make sense. But because it's got فتحة, now you can tell that it follows on from this. Okay, right. Then he says وتناول الفواكه. Here we have فواكه with a فتحة. Why? We'll talk about that next time, because time's up. والخضروات شفاك الله آمين. So next time we're going to cover الممنوع من الصرف, and we're going to talk about Arabic numbers inshallah. Any questions? Right, let's do a quizzes then. I mean Quizlet. I don't know why those two names sound so familiar, so similar. I mean, Allah. Today, one of those days we'll do best out of 3, not best out of 5. Tuesday, best out of 5, inshallah. So don't ask me for another round, huh? You got 3 rounds to make a difference. واضح? All right, there we go. No problem. You've got 30 seconds. I'll give you more than 2 seconds. We have in total, how many people is that? 4 plus 6, 10, 11. We got 13 of you in here. Now we have 12 of you in here. Still one person, my test. We got 13 of you now. Shall we start? Anyone missing? Bye. All right. All right. 3, 2, 1. Go. Okay. Chameleons are ahead. Chameleons are doing good. Chameleons still have the lead, closely followed by sea dragons. They got stuck there. Chameleons are still ahead. I think chameleons, wow, what a lead. Chameleons are killing it, mashallah. Absolutely no chance. Unless they make a mistake, it's in the bag. One more answer. MashaAllah, MashaAllah, Allahumma barik. Yeah, so Sabreen got it today. Can't remember how. Last week, Tuesday was very tight. Okay, you know what? I think comedians are going to do it again because that was an amazing lead. That was crazy. Anyway, let's see. Bismillah. 3, 2, 1, go. I don't think anyone stands a chance today. See how it goes. Comedians ahead again. Strong start. Sharks. Okay. She's got some competition now, but she's already got a lead. Already got a lead. Okay. Lynx, sea dragons, trying to catch up. You even got hedgehogs in the race. Chameleons are still ahead. I told you, no chance today. The absolute Usain Bolt style today. As long as you don't make a mistake, you got no chance. Oh, sea dragons almost. Now it's turning a bit into a competition, but still no competition in the bag. All right. Who wants to get another beating? I did say best out of 3, but just for the sake of it, huh? Let's do another one. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Okay, this time, this one got zebras ahead. Okay, chameleons is falling a little bit behind. Okay. Oh, now it's tight. MashaAllah. That's what I'm talking about. Now it's a bit more fun. Okay. Oh, chameleons in the head. It's already ahead again. Yeah, back in the lead. Who's going to catch her up? Come on. Zebras, chameleons again. Oh, no. No, that's going to be a whitewash today. Sea dragons, very close. Oh, she made a mistake. Yeah. There we go. Hedgehogs. I think that's Ilyas, yeah? MashaAllah. Last question. She made a mistake. Otherwise, it would have been a whitewash. MashaAllah. I did say 3 rounds, huh? Okay, nobody can blame me. We already took 28 minutes out of the workshop. So, inshallah, let's go to the workshop. And Tuesday, we'll do Quizlet again, inshallah. Also, another thing to make it extra fun, huh? Tuesday, I'm going to randomly pick another unit. Okay? Or we'll do one of those live exercises going forward with all of the units. So from now on, inshallah, whenever we do Quizlet, we'll do the week's unit. We'll do also a couple of rounds with a massive set that covers all of the words, or at least the last 3 or 4 units. Maybe unit 1, 2, 3, or 4 might be too easy, but at least the last 3, 4 units. Okay, so keep that in mind. In other words, make sure you revise. You're on top of the words for this week and at least 3 units backwards. Go back 3 units. So we're doing now 15. So 14, 12, 14, 13, and 12. Okay, make sure you revise those as well, inshallah. Will it be cohort 3 for book 2A? Yeah. So cohort 3 is going to start, inshallah ta'ala, after we're done with this, which will be sometime beginning of December. And then we will start all the way from the beginning for new students that want to do level 1 and 2. And we're going to start a new batch doing book 2A and then book 2B, inshallah, which is basically you guys and anyone else who is good enough or strong enough in his Arabic to start from book 3. Okay, so looking forward to that. But I have to warn you. Book 3, when it basically the series turns green, so that's called a new mustawa. 2 books that are both green, are completely different. It's a major jump. I'm telling you, it's a major jump. So you really have to have book 1 on lockhold. All right. Make sure you stay on top of unit 15 and 16 and you revise the previous units, because when you get to book 2, and I think when we get to book 2, we're going to drastically have to, I'm not going to say decrease the numbers. I mean, the numbers are not that much anyway at the moment, but we'll make sure that, the teacher to student ratio is even less because of the amount of essays involved. You're literally going to be writing essays. You're going to write paragraphs in book 2. That's the homework. The homework's so much writing. Like if you think writing is difficult now, wait till you get to book 2A. So, which again, I mean, that's how you're going to learn the language. You're not going to learn it by fun. I mean, you have to put time into it, So just keep that in mind. Yes, long text and long exercises. So I remember when I did it with some brothers before, we were actually forced to do half a unit a week. So we'll see how it goes. If we can keep up with the pace of a unit a week, which we might not, alhamdulillah. If we can't, and push comes to shove, then we'll just do half a unit a week, inshallah ta'ala. This is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's a marathon. So for me, the most important thing, and please, I hope you share the same vision with me, which is, it's not about completing the series. It's about reaching a level whereby you can pick up Arabic. It's about reaching a level whereby you can pick up a book in Arabic and understand it, and you can put that language to use and have conversations. This could happen book 2A, as in level 3 of the Arabic conversational course. It could happen at level 4. For each student is going to be different. It could happen at level 5. Yes? And rarely is it going to happen anything. Is it going to happen like at level 6 or 7 or 8? By that stage, when we reach book 7, book 8, you're literally someone who is independent reader. Because the texts in book level 3 are like completely long texts, right? So the point is that it's all about you reaching a level whereby you understand the language, you can pick up a book, you can read something, and we might reach that at any level. So we are not going to, just for the sake of finishing a unit a week, overwhelm you and do the half-baked job. Yes, even though I did say that this program takes 2 years, but again, it's the first time I'm delivering it. I might revise the whole promise to it takes 3 years, 4 years, I don't know, to finish the whole series. But that doesn't mean it's going to take you 2 years to reach a level whereby you can immerse yourself in the language. That could take place next cohort. It could take place the cohort after that. It depends on how hard you work. So make sure you work hard and you prepare, inshallah ta'ala, for book 3. Bismillah al-Kareem. I'm, of course, very much looking forward to that, inshallah. And as a source of encouragement, one of the students that I taught before was a few students. I was teaching them in person first, but then Corona started. We had to do it online, even though they live just down the road in Riyadh. And that's when I started doing online classes. Is that he started with me doing book 1, and then they started doing with me book 2. I mean level 1, what we just done now, and then we done level 3, which is basically book 2A. And mashallah, they were writing essays. And that same brother, last time I spoke to him was, I think, Ramadan or just before Ramadan, and he said to me, you know, those lessons came to a stop. We stopped at roughly, I think, halfway book 4, level 4, halfway. We stopped somewhere there. And he told me that, mashallah, he's listening to the durus of Sheikh bin Uthaymeen. He's reading the shuruh of bin Uthaymeen and the tafsir and the likes, and he's benefiting and immersing himself in the language. You know, Allahumma barik. And, you know, mashallah. So once in a while, he might ask me a question. He might send me a picture and say, Ustad, what does this mean or whatever. But he's doing amazing. And I believe that a lot of you have the same sort of potential, inshallah. So it's not about when do we finish the series. It's about when will you start to pick up a book and read it. Inshallah. Sooner rather than later. Hayyakumullah. Right. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. See you in the workshop, inshallah. And Ustad Sarah, sorry for being late.